Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you are. How are you? I'm back. I've got a special guest I've got to share with you. And she's such a phenomenal person. She has an incredible book, and I want to interview her about her book. In fact, one of the things I want to hold it up, and I think that John Leslie leave that in here for me, but I'm sure she has it with her. But my special guest, she's talking about something that a lot of people can identify with. I didn't do what I'm doing now for years because of fear. I want you to get ready to hear a conversation and interview about a person that just an incredible experience. She is an international recording artist and an Amazon bestseller of Fear of Failure and Fear of Not Trying. And we call her Butta. I love this name. Internationally known recording artist and songwriter, best-selling author of Fear of Failure, editor-in-chief of Define One's Teen magazine, playwright, host of Transparency Talks podcast, published actress, composer, and model, CEO and founder of nonprofit Artist Rock, the Mike Foundation, and CEO founder of O. Robinson PR Media Group. And she's redefined the term versatility by showcasing her vocals, composed pieces for ears all over the world, and has worked with so many artists: Janet Jackson, Akon, TLC, Kanye West, Nas, Collective Soul, Zach Brown, Dream, and so many others. And this book became an Amazon bestseller, and she'd been interviewed, and it happened within 7 hours. And she's featured on CBS, NBC, ABC, and Fox. And she had a car accident that interrupted her life. We're going to talk about that, but let me bring her on right now. She's full of versatility with nothing but ability. Yes, hello, how are you?
Hi, Mr. Brown.
Hi, Butter. I can't hear you, Butter.
You can't hear me? I don't know.
I can hear you in my headphones.
You can hear me. They can hear me.
Oh, they can hear you?
Yeah.
So I have to put on my headphones to hear you?
Yeah.
Is that right? Homie ain't doing that. You ain't messing up my flat top, buddy. Let the record show.
Unplug the headset.
Okay, but I can hear you though.
Okay.
So, Butter, first of all, thank you so much. What a beautiful smile. You are Miss Charisma. I want you to share with us, you had a record deal set up and you had a major interruption. Murphy's Law stepped in. What happened?
I was literally headed to my attorney's office. I had 2 deals on the table, one with Sony and one with Warner Brothers. And I got into a car accident, which left me drinking from a straw for 6 months. I went back for a year later. I had stitches in my mouth that had to dissolve, and they had to do surgery in my face and everything. And I went back a year later, and the deals were no longer there.
Wow. How did you handle that emotionally?
I didn't. I broke down. It was very devastating because I grew up with a lot of people, the Ushers and the Akons, and all of us was on the same playing field. And then to see my career just completely just stop was devastating, because that's all I've ever wanted to do, was be on stage and be the next Diana Ross.
There are people who are going through what you've already been through. And that is people whose lives have been interrupted. Over 40 million people have lost their jobs. People who are facing evictions and foreclosures. Life just has been snatched out from under them. If you had to crystallize your thoughts around the things they need to do to handle such devastation, you almost left here. You almost died. How long were you taking food in from a straw?
I was drinking from a straw for 6 months, and it felt like forever.
So what would you say to someone who's watching now? They're facing foreclosure, eviction. They didn't see the coronavirus coming. Your business has gone under. What were the things that you learned about yourself and about life that will be helpful to people in this type of disruptive environment?
The biggest thing I learned is that life will knock you down. But as you told me, if you can look up, you can get up. And I really took that to heart with a lot of different things. As you know, I also recently had a knee surgery, which for years I've now been touring the world, but it suddenly halted December of 2018, where I had torn meniscus, a torn ACL, and I dislocated my shoulder. And I woke up from the surgery to find out that I could no longer tour the world for a year. And that was completely devastating. This was almost close to COVID time at that moment. And I really had to figure life out. I had to tap into some other opportunities and discover what other skills I also had. And that's how the book came about. I wrote the book. I was terrified to write the book. You know how like a lot of people would tell you, you know, write your story, tell your story, but I was scared to tell my story. You know, I'm not a big major star. I didn't think nobody would want to hear it. Nobody would support it. I was terrified, but I didn't want to live a woulda, coulda, shoulda life. And it was like, I needed
What do
to.
you mean by that? You just ran through that.
What I mean by that is I don't want to live a life with regret. I want to be able to say, you know what, I gave it everything I had.
And so at this point now, do you still dance? Can you return to the dance floor and dance and sing and perform as you once did?
I can. I got released December 2020. I mean, April of 2020. But then COVID hit. So all of the tours that I still had in place for Peru, and I was supposed to go to Chile and a couple other places, you know, that stopped. So you have to pivot. You have to figure out some more hustles. So my boys started their Defiant Ones teen magazine. I became the editor-in-chief. Never did a magazine before. We had to figure it out.
So let's talk about the book, Fear of Failure.
Okay.
What kind of impact did that have on you? And how did you liberate yourself from that fear?
I had so many insecurities. When I came back into the industry, like I said, the record deals were off the table, and all of my friends who we was at the same level, they now were Grammy Award winning artists and everything. And not that they had to pull me up, but they didn't pull me up. And it kind of messed with my subconscious and made me think that I wasn't good enough or that I wasn't cute enough. You know, you go through so many insecurities being an artist because you're competing with the younger ladies. And at this time I was 19, 20 years old. So my dreams were completely shattered because that's all I wanted to do.
So how do you cope with that when you look at where things are now for you? And do you feel that was your moment then when you had the accident and you blew it? Or do you feel that you have the power and presence of mind to create some other moments?
I now feel I have the power and presence to determine my own fate. I didn't at that time. You know, it was a blow to everything in me. But at some point you have to bet on yourself. So I left that corporate job in 2007. Sorry, I left that corporate job. I left my pension. I had 2 babies at the house. I was married.
And you decided to bet on you.
I did. I had to. They offered me a raise, and I was like, it's not about the money. I have to do something for myself.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is, you get to that point where, as Family Hamer would say, you get sick and tired of being sick and tired and say, you know what? I got to do this for me. It might not make sense to anybody else, but it makes sense for me.
Yeah.
And I'm the person, this is my life. Life has no duplicates, and I've got to do this for me. And I like the fact that you say that you don't want to live a woulda, shoulda, coulda kind of life, that you should have done it, or if you would have done that. No, you have to seize the moment. When you think about now and moving forward, this book, first of all, where can they get the book?
They can get the book on Amazon and on Barnes and Nobles. It's digital and it's also paperback.
Okay. And so they can get it at Barnes and Nobles.
Yes.
and
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yes.
Okay. What is it that you want people to walk away with when they read Fear of Failure?
That it's okay to fail, just fail your way forward. And you have to take that one step after another step. You don't have to have all the answers. You just got to go for it. And that was one of the things that once it finally sunk into my thick skull, I was like, okay, let's do this.
Yeah. So that the value of walking by faith and not by sight, that there comes a time in your life that, as you said, you got to bet on you. You got to believe in you, and you've got to give it your best shot. Single mother with two incredible kids, young men who just they have the magazine Defiant Ones. You've published that. Tell us about your sons that I love very much.
Oh man, we both love them. They have a magazine called Defiant Ones Teen Magazine that focuses on teen and young adults. They deal with health and wellness of teens and young adults. They talk about financial literacy. They talk about sex trafficking, college. They talk about a lot of different things that regular magazines don't talk about. And it's for teens by teens.
Well, tell people how they can get the magazine.
You can get the magazine at defiantonesmag.com. That's defiantonesmag.com. It's also available on Amazon.
All right. We call her Butta, and her book, Fear of Failure, is really about living life on your terms. It's about not allowing the interruptions of life to determine who you become, that you have to dig deep within yourself. And that's what you had to do when you were recovering. How many months did it take you to recover from that traffic accident?
It took me a year to recover. And it was more mental than anything. I thought that I couldn't sing anymore. And it really took a toll on me. But I really had to realize that no one else can determine who you are.
That is absolutely true. That's in your hands. And so you pulled through it, and now you are back again
Absolutely.
because of God's grace and mercy. All right, now. Okay, it's the book called Fear of Failure. And Olethea,
Yes.
better known as Butta, Olethea Robinson. Get this book on Amazon. It will inspire you and motivate you. I've read it 3 times and I love it. It will lift your spirit. And also, it's something to get for friends and family members at Christmas time. The Fear of Failure. It's a powerful read. When you put this book down, you'll be a different person than when you picked it up. All the power to you, Butta.
Thank
And
you.
stay safe. And we will give you a virtual hug, knowing that the best is yet to come and the world is waiting not only for this book to be a national bestseller, but for your voice. You have a new video that will be launched real soon. So we'll be interviewing about that. So thank you so very much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Brown. I do want to say that it is available on Amazon. Fear of Failure, Fear Not Trying by O. Robinson.
Okay, gotcha.
Thank you.
All right. And when can we expect the video?
The video is coming out February 9th.
February the 9th.
Yes, called
Okay.
Strange Love.
Well, I got a little glimpse of it. It's powerful. She is creative and she has a very creative team. And I just encourage everybody, just get ready for it because you're going to love it. Thank you very much. The Fear of Failure on Amazon. Order it now. An incredible Christmas gift for people that you love, people that you care about. Somebody needs to hear this now so they can bet on them and leap and grow their wings on the way down. Olethea, thank you so very much. It's been a plum-pleasing pleasure as well as a privilege. Bye for now.
Bye.
Oh boy. Make sure you get it at Amazon. It's awesome. It's an incredible read.